King Charles waves happily at crowds. Image, Getty. He had arrived at the palace for a series of meetings with Commonwealth representatives. Excited young children sat on the shoulders of parents trying to take photos with their phones, and all cheered and waved at the new monarch as he was driven in his state Rolls-Royce from Clarence House through the palace gates at around 1 p.m. Inside the palace, he received Commonwealth Secretary-General Baroness Scotland in the 1844 room and then attended a reception with High Commissioners and other representatives from the 14 other countries where he is also head of state. His meetings, part of the carefully choreographed plans drawn up years ago for this period of national mourning, came on the day it emerged that Antigua and Barbuda had pledged to hold a referendum on becoming a republic within 3 years after the death of the Queen. Moments after signing a document confirming the new king as head of state, Gaston Brown, the Caribbean nation's prime minister, reiterated his commitment to giving his people a vote on becoming a republic if he is re-elected next year. He admitted there was no huge demand for it at the moment but told reporters, "This is not an act of hostility or any difference between Antigua and Barbuda and the monarchy, but it is the final step to complete that circle of independence, to ensure that we are truly a sovereign nation." But Australian Prime Minister Anthony Albanese, who was elected in May, is a committed Republican, has ruled out replacing the monarchy over the next 4 years. Trending previous leaders had suggested that a change in reign would be the right time to reconsider the question of whether Australia should have a homegrown president after a 1999 referendum rejected the idea. But Mr Albanese, who plans to attend the Queen's funeral next Monday, said he would stick to an earlier pledge to avoid a referendum in his first term in office. He paid tribute to the Queen, saying she stood with Australia during good times and bad and expressed the hope that King Charles would visit soon. The PM said, "He's someone who has a deep relationship with Australia. I hope that he is able to visit here as soon as possible. But the bigger questions about our constitution are not ones for this current period. This is a period in which we are sharing the grief that so many Australians are feeling at the moment, showing our deep respect and admiration for the contribution of the Queen to Australia. It's a sad time. There's also a time to celebrate what is a long life, well lived." King Charles and the Queen's consort Camilla. Image, Getty. The King is head of state in 14 countries apart from the UK. Antigua and Barbuda, Australia, the Bahamas, Belize, Canada, Grenada, Jamaica, New Zealand, Papua New Guinea, St. Kitts and Nevis, St. Lucia, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Solomon Islands, and Tuvalu. But, in addition to Antigua and Barbuda, Jamaica has said it intends to hold a referendum on becoming a republic and others are said to be considering it. Last year, Barbados replaced the Queen with a president, Dame Sandra Mason. Charles has immediately become head of the Commonwealth of 56 nations after member nations voted in 2018 to allow him to succeed the Queen on her death. At the palace yesterday, the King also met the Dean of Windsor, who is expected to preside over the late Queen's committal service at St George's Chapel, at Windsor Castle, after her funeral at Westminster Abbey. The King was also seen speaking to Foreign Secretary James Cleverly and his wife Susie at Buckingham Palace. While he was busy there, the Queen consort was driven out of the palace past cheering crowds and turned off towards Clarence House. The King later waved to well-wishers after he left the palace. Aides have always dismissed speculation that the royal couple would want to retain Clarence House as their home after the change of reign. They have insisted that the royal couple will live at Buckingham Palace. Elsewhere yesterday, Royal Marines marched down the Royal Mile for an accession proclamation ceremony at Mercat Cross, Edinburgh, proclaiming King Charles III as the new monarch. There was also an accession proclamation ceremony at Hillsborough Castle, near Belfast.